In 1987, Albert Band, working within his son Charles Band's film production company Empire, directed the follow-up to the cult camp romp Ghoulies, bringing us Ghoulies 2. In this video, I will dissect the top 10 reasons you should watch that Gremlins-based knockoff, Ghoulies 2. Before we get started, please hit that like and subscribe, as it is the only way I can grow. And without any further ado, at number 10 we have Teddy, portrayed by Sasha Jenson of Dazed and Confused fame. While making out with his girlfriend, is phlegm-bonded face-to-face by rat slime when the rat ghoulie pukes all over them. When they exit Satan's den, the newcomers all laugh and make fun of their plight. And of course, Sasha returns the next night to get more ghoulie love and attempt to find Mr. Toon's broken tunes. And their lost friend Merle, portrayed by William Butler of 1990 Night of the Living Dead Tom fame. Coming in at 9, we have these campy brothers, one who believes he is a ninja master. After rightfully judging the Satan's Den, the haunted house attraction the Ghoulies have infested, as cheap and boring, the two stumble upon the rat ghoulie. The rat pukes all over the older kid's shirt, so he chucks a shuriken at the ghoulie. It catches it in its mouth and begins devouring it, to which the younger boy exclaims, "This place is better than Epcot Center." And puke-drenched shirt and all, they flee to go get the guys and show them the epic attraction. Coming in at 8, we have Royal Dano of character acting TV Western and Abraham Lincoln fame, portraying the old and drunken Uncle Ned, as he dons his old magician's name, Fausto, and attempts to perform
one of the worst goddamn tricks in the history of phony, baloney magic.
And after doing so, he pulls the toilet ghoulie from his hat, believing he has performed an incantation and summoned demons. It is a fairly funny scene. As we will discuss later on, Dano is spot on. At 7, we have Sir Nigel, the big ghoulie, and the big ghoulie wants to eat Sir Nigel Ark. Sir Nigel himself, portrayed by Phil Fondacaro, is actually done very well. If anything, he is a bit too over the top and silly, but these attributes are performed with talent and a hint of grandness. He is chocked full of Shakespearean-esque performed quotes, speeches, and one-liners. The big ghoulie is great, appearing as the toilet ghoulie, but bigger. Nigel and Larry, the main characters, summon the beast in an attempt to kill the ghoulies, and after it eats all of them, it turns on Nigel, thinking he is a ghoulie due to his size. Overall, it is a very humorous idea, one that is actually executed quite well. Coming in at 6, we have the Karate Master Mummy Kick, the pre-mentioned Ninja Master, showing just how badass he is, when confronted with a mummy jump scare, shows his boredom, then solidly karate kicks it right in the neck and face, knocking the piss out of it, and declaring it a
cheap piece of shit.
A very funny and campy scene. Coming in at 5, we have the Get Out Wimp and Cat Knockout scene, when this obviously ripped and powerful gentleman can no longer watch this wimp slap the carny punch raider. He declares,
Get out of there, Wimp.
And tosses said wimp aside, and begins smashing the like and subscribe button. I mean the carny punch raider. The cat ghoulie doesn't enjoy this display, and enters a glove, takes a few pre-bounces, and launches himself into the rippling stud, knocking him cold, and knocking the cat quite loopy. It is a very stupid and very funny scene that perhaps showcases the silliness and camp nature of this film, more so than any other. Coming in at 4, we have Royal Dano himself. Although he is not the lead and dies about halfway through the film, the time Royal Dano gets is quite precious. He appeared in a number of 80s era horror films, and this is one of his shinier moments in my opinion, playing a very eccentric and quirky type completely drunken old magician who has been worn down by time, disappointment, and drink. His scenes, while performed exceptionally well and very funny, for some will probably be a bit too over the top and eccentric. In my opinion, these are easily the best acted scenes in the movie, and Uncle Ned is the most well-developed and interesting character in the film.
He can even make this bottle disappear.
One I wish had been given more play, and possibly even survived through to the end. At 3, we got Rats. After the brothers go to get the guys, they give a grand speech and bring in a group of carnival goers to witness what they have deemed rats. They find Merle being mummified by the Ghoulies, to which they cheer and chant. The Ghoulies then, in a scene that is beyond stupid, give each other a high five. And for me, it is actually quite humorous, as the crowd cheers them on while they slap demon skin. At number 2, we got Trouble to the Den. When the Ghoulies are prepping to slay the pre-mentioned Sasha and Mr. Toons, Larry runs to get help, proclaiming there's trouble at the den, get your piece, and proceeds to rally a troupe of camped out, over-the-top, ridiculous characters, one of which is a strong man who arms himself with a pipe he has just unwound. He uses it to send Ghoulies flying. Another appears as a ridiculous gypsy that can spit fire from his mouth, Carney style, using alcohol, although Ghoulies really just laugh at him. And another over-the-top gypsy-looking Carney with a gun and stick, which prove most useful in stopping the guillotine from beheading Mr. Toons. A decent melee breaks out, in which much fire is spit. Ghoulies do a great deal of laughing and biting, and the rat Ghoulie pukes in the strongman's face. Eventually a hole is blown in the side of the attraction, through which the Ghoulies escape and go on a rampage of insanity. We have more honorable mentions than I can shake a red-robed occultist stick at. Larry swamped in Ghoulies and electrocuting himself to get free is great. Royal Dano's death is well done, as he is taunted, tortured, and attacked, while trying to perform an incantation to get rid of the beasts. He is electrocuted nicely, albeit rather briefly. Muffy is decently killed, and the cat gets to walk across her silly style. The Ghoulies themselves should make the list. They look better, move better, and get much more screen time and antics than the previous film. The ridiculous teens and their needs for tunes, as their tune box falls and disassembles, is pretty funny. No one told them the speakers just fell off, and you can easily fix those rad tunes by plugging them back in, so they live the rest of their lives denied of such sweet rockage. This Return of the Living Dead cover image is a nice Easter egg for the genre fans. The toilet kill we were promised by the cover of the original is finally executed, and although funny, it is short and not amazing in any way. The bumper cars kill is funny, as well as the giant Ghoulie rat smash. Since this is a top 10 list, none of these fit the bill. And thus, without any further ado, I present for you the Shooting Gallery Rat. In one of my favorite scenes of all, the rat and the toad Ghoulie taunt the cat Ghoulie in the shooting range, as it attempts to blast them with an air rifle. The toad Ghoulie bounces about and acts a fool, while the rat Ghoulie seems to really understand the situation, and how to completely mock the cat, whilst using the roaming targets as shields and being completely hilarious. He keeps popping up from random positions and marching to the right in a completely ridiculous and hilarious motion, whilst making noises and not only taunting the cat, but taunting the entire situation, the ridiculous machine and treadmill he is on, and showcasing an act of camp hilarity. His grand camp skills and mockery are easily my favorite and most laughed at scene in the film. Whoever's idea it was to depict the rat in this way deserves a round of applause. Simply amazing. Overall, Ghoulies 2 is likely for most a very bad B film, but I would assume they are not fans of low-budget schlock, and have not yet waded through what genre fans would consider to be horrible. In the genre, and somewhat outside of it due to the popularity of these little buggers, the clickbaity covers of the films, and receiving a decent amount of play throughout the 80s and 90s on cable TV and the pay channels, this film is revered by many as a very well-made camp horror comedy classic, and a definitive guilty pleasure. I fall into this later category, as this film has just the right amount of humor, ridiculousness, violence, and gore to be considered a masterpiece of the genre. For me, it is a great film, although I will admit, some of that could be tainted by the demon that is nostalgia. For many, however, it will be the trash that it arguably is. Thank you so much for wading through the top 10 reasons you should watch Ghoulies 2. I have new videos coming out all the time, so please hit that like and subscribe. And until next time, keep sleepwalking, my friends.